Eli, are you, as an offensive line, are you guys where you want to be 2 weeks before the season starts?
I'd say we're off to a great start. I think we've had a really solid camp. We always strive to improve on different things. There's so many different situations you work on this late in camp that I think we're trying to iron out the details on. But no, I think we have a really talented group. I think this is one of the deeper offensive line rooms we've had in a long time. We brought in some key transfers, and we have some key guys coming back, as you all know. So I'm very excited with where we are. I'm happy with the work we've put in with Coach Wolf since he got here in the spring and the reps that we've been able to bank. And I'm very confident in this group going into the year.
Eli, there's a lot of talk of speeding up the offense. How has the offensive line as a whole kind of dealt with that faster pace offense so far?
Yeah, I think just the main thing is getting reps and getting into, like today we had a 16-play drive, just getting into that game shape. You can't, that's not something you can do every day in practice just for the wear and tear on guys playing football. So being able to have a 16-play drive where we're not huddling, working the tempo, working the operation, and working with Brock and all the different guys I think is critical. That's why these scrimmages are so important. I think we're off to a really good start.
Eli, is there an area with working in all the new guys that you've had coming into the line too, where you've seen that cohesion kind of really grow and start to gel?
Yeah, I think, it's all about just getting reps together. We have new guys transferring in, playing guard, playing tackle, and just getting those reps, working the chemistry and the communication, knowing how I relay calls to them, they relay calls to the tackles, and the tackles relay them to the tight end. Like that communication has to get all the way down. And then getting reps and just knowing how guys fit on different combination blocks, knowing what each guy's seeing. When he sees the linebacker peel, does he need to come off? Knowing when to stay on the block, understanding the angle of the play, and just that chemistry you need to work those combinations amongst all five guys. You just need reps at it. And I think we've done a really good job through summer OTAs, spring ball, and now through fall camp, really building that cohesion as a group. And I think it's just something that will continue to get better.
You've got Jalen and Gerald over there on one side, I think, new together, coming from different systems. Have you seen them make kind of that adjustment and get more comfortable with what you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it speaks a lot to them. Gerald's coming. They're both very professional guys who came into a new place with new faces, new system, new coaches. There's a lot of new, even for me as well. So I just think the relationships that we've built and the camaraderie we have between those guys has been huge. I think they've done a really good job of coming in, gelling, and just asking how they can help and what they can do to help this team win. And I'm really glad we have those guys here.
Stoops had a lot of praise for the quarterback room this year. How has that chemistry been going with you, and what have you seen from them?
Yeah, it's just, again, it's kind of like just with the offensive line as well. It's just something you need reps at. All the different scenarios. When we're in 2 minute, how does Brock work his cadence, the timing between getting my calls in, him knowing that, getting everyone set, the motions, all that different stuff. So, again, it just comes with reps. And we really work hard on that during the summer OTAs and during camp and during our scrimmages today. But I think that quarterback room is really deep. It's probably the deepest we've had it in a long time. There's a lot of talent in that room, and we're doing our best to make Brock comfortable back there so he can play free.
Have you noticed a change in the game with the new helmet communication?
Not so much, other than just it aids in the speed of play. Coaches talked about getting more snaps in the game. I think it makes that system easier because offensive linemen, we don't have to spend our entire in-between plays looking off to the sideline for a signal. Brock's able to get a quick play into his headset and give that to us really quickly, so we don't have to leave the ball. Once that ball's set, we're all up on it, hearing the play, diagnosing the front, looking for defensive substitutions and getting our calls in. I think it just makes it streamlines all that.
You've been around some talented quarterbacks while you're here. How is Brock similar, different than some of the guys you've worked with?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to play center for 3 different quarterbacks who all play the game a different way and all bring different attributes in their own respective ways. You guys know Will was just a big, strong presence, a very strong leader, big runner. Devin was a nice guy who had great touch on the ball. He's a very different quarterback than Will, and Brock's his own guy. I think he brings some physicality, some running aspect, and I think he's working on growing that leadership role. I think this is his first time being that starting guy going into week 1, and I think he's done a good job of building on that role, growing as a leader, and building those relationships with the guys.
What have you seen from Jagger? You guys have been together a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen from him in this camp?
I think one thing he's done a great job of this offseason is just really committing to knowing his playbook and putting on good weight. Something I know just from talking to him that he's trying to work on is just that play strength, being able to anchor, move guys off the spot. And he's sitting at about like 315, 320 when camp started. So having that good, healthy weight on him with how athletic, how strong that he is, he's really made a concentrated effort to do that, to be a more powerful, stout football player. And so I'm really proud of him the way he's worked. It's been fun seeing him grow from just as a freshman in high school when we first met him in 2021 to where he is now. I think he's a guy that is really committed to this process, has submitted to it, and he gives us everything he's got every day, and he's going to be a really good football player for years to come here and in his future.
Good. Thanks, Eli.
Day 2, Scrimmage 2 this weekend.
I think we built off last scrimmage and that we all got better in a way. You know, every group, whether it's the 1s, 2s, or 3s, I think we improved on something today, and that's the important part, you know, with the season coming up.
Have you seen anything that you might say is a weakness in Brock Vandegrift so far, or is he pretty solid, giving you guys a hard time?
Nah, he's solid. I say that because, you know, he can either put the ball in the air or he's smart enough to use his legs, and when he uses his legs, like, he's going to get out. So I think Brock, like, he showed maturity throughout this camp. You know, I'm excited for him to go out there and do his thing.
You guys go up against that new offensive coordinator. Is the offense a lot different from what you've seen previously, or about the same? How would you describe it?
I would say, I don't know if I want to say a lot different, but I will say it is a difference. I say the tempo has gone up. I feel like we're getting more plays off. And like I said, I feel like there's some plays that, you know, just leads to a lot more explosives than maybe we've had in the past. But like I said, it's a whole different flow out there this year. So I'm excited for them to go out there and show out.
We're about 2 weeks out from the season. How do you feel about your room as a whole?
Honestly, I feel like this corner room is the deepest room that we've had since I've been here. And I feel like we got guys that are young that can play right now. And then we also have that, you know, experienced guys. You know, I feel like I'm one of the old heads in the room now. So, you know, it's just, I'm excited for this group. I think we're going to turn a lot of heads. And I think that we're hungry, all of us.
And then you talk about being one of the old heads. Like, how have you kind of stepped into that leadership position so far this year?
Really being more vocal, really trying to help the younger guys, you know, really try to help them stay on top of the little things, because that's what's important. The little things is what shows up in the games. And just keeping them focused, keeping them aware, I feel like it's going to take them a long way. And it also keeps myself on my P's and Q's because, you know, nobody's perfect, you know, but I'm excited for them, like I said, and I'm excited for the room. Then we're going to turn a lot of heads.
What have you seen from the wide receiver room? There's a lot of talk about the depth in that room. What do you like about that?
I think our receiver room is amazing. I truly love going against them every practice because depending on the receiver, I'm getting different looks, different type of players, and I just feel like they're all so explosive. They all can run deep, short, intermediates, and I think the DBs that we face are going to have a hard time going against the receivers.
You got a favorite matchup?
Honestly, I love going against J-Mac. Brings that veteran presence, brings a different type of, you know, skill to the table. I love going against Marion and Dane. You know, Fredo, another guy I like going against. But that whole room, I feel like when I go against anyone in that room, I'm getting better in something.
Coaches have talked a lot about those safeties that you guys have on the back end, being able to do a whole lot of things and the versatility. What have you seen in that group?
I've seen a nice, healthy rotation of safeties that we can use. And, you know, we go out there, we communicate with them, we're talking more on the field. So I just feel like we're getting closer as we get towards the end of camp and close to the season. But I just feel like that safety room is another room that's deep, and that's another room that's going to turn people's heads because, you know, we've been working, we're doing extra, so can't wait to show that.
Actually, you're on a lot of preseason teams, on a lot of lists. Do you pay any attention to that stuff, and what are your expectations for yourself this year?
Oh, yeah, I see it, definitely. You know, I appreciate all of that, but, you know, that's great and all, but then again, I still have to go out there and play myself, so honestly, it gives me motivation to go out there and continue to work because I know that it's parts of my game that I need to get better. So I feel like this entire summer I spent that, you know, dialed in on specific techniques and specific details that, you know, can take my game to the next level.
Is there one thing in particular that you've been working on?
I've been working on my press man. I've been working on, you know, slowing down at the line, not always relying on my speed and athleticism, but becoming more technical.
We didn't see a whole lot of press man last season. Do you think that's something that'll change a little bit with the personnel you have now?
For sure. I think, you know, this year we're going to be a little more aggressive, you know, play a little more man. And at that point, it's just about us accepting that challenge. And I know that my room, we're up for that. I'm up for that. So let's bring it on.
Thanks, Maxwell. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.